embrace discomfort. So growth happens at the edge of your comfort zone, is what I wrote. And going back to like walking into a room and being intimidated or feeling uncomfortable. I have now, at the time it didn't feel fortunate, or maybe I should say it's ongoing. So maybe it doesn't feel it doesn't feel fortunate, but I have been fortunate in that I've been the spearhead of a lot of different things around here with the church, and so pastor will be like, "Yeah, why don't you do this?" And oh man, and it's so uncomfortable. But what that has done is it has pushed me to realize that being uncomfortable is usually a good thing.
Yes.
When you're pushed out, on stage or whatever it may be, and then you develop from there. And so that it makes you stretch, it makes you go beyond your abilities, and then you grow, and you grow into it.
I can 100% concur with what you're saying. When you sent me the outline, I could just had to chuckle at myself because I can remember so many times in my life that those challenges, I'm like, I did not enjoy the challenges at the time, but it made me grow so much. And looking back, I'm so thankful for those challenges. Yeah. Because it ultimately makes me better. It's just like, we could talk about the fitness world and lifting weights. Yep. It's those constant, little growths. It's uncomfortable. Your muscles are sore, but it's growth overall. And ultimately it's going to make you so much better. Yeah.
And the working out and that athletic side of it is a really good analogy. It's a really easy one to use because basically if you are doing something that you're comfortable with, you're not growing. You might maybe be maintaining,
maintain,
but it's the mediocrity. You're not growing. And so when you are working out and that moment of muscle failure or whatever, you're pushing your limits, that's where the growth is really starting to happen. And that's where like you're maximizing the growth. No pain, no gain is the saying they have in the gym. And so if we can regularly seek out those challenges that stretch us and stretch our capabilities. I've used this example so many times. I'm going to teach on it, I think, but the rubber band. The rubber band is not useful until it's stretched.
Exactly.
That's what it's for. And so if you have a rubber band sitting on the table and it's just sitting there, it's not really useful. It's just sitting there. But when you stretch it tight around a ponytail, around a roll of paper, whatever it may be, that's when it's most useful. And the more it's stretched, before it breaks, is where you're getting the maximum use out of that rubber band. So if we can stretch ourselves, to be successful, if we can stretch ourselves beyond what we're used to, it's comfortable for that rubber band to sit on the table. Yeah. And so it's comfortable for us, and I'm guilty of it. It's comfortable for us to go through the routines and the motions, and in Sunday school it's tempting to live from Sunday to Sunday.
It is.
And like, okay, we got through that Sunday, and okay, great job, let's work on the next Sunday. And even if we're working on, 1 week out, we can feel, like we're really on top of it, and I'm guilty of this too. But what can we do if we step back and look at a bigger picture and say, how can we be excellent? How can we be where we're ready to be like reviewed or audited by pastor? Yeah. Or by, some Sunday school guru or something. What can we do to make everything just top notch, where kids walk in and they're amazed, kids walk in and the presence of God is there. And ultimately, kids are getting the Holy Ghost and they're developing in discipleship. What do we do to be on the world stage? How do we be world class at that? Rather than just surviving from Sunday to Sunday?
Yeah, kind of like we've mentioned that mediocrity. I hopefully I can say this and it doesn't sound too wrong, but I was thinking about this, but mediocrity is the killer of revival.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Because when you just like, okay, I'm just going to go through the motions, just coast. We can just coast down easy street.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Mediocrity is a killer of revival. Absolutely. Because you get comfortable and and then you don't feel the need to change. You don't feel the need because it's like, well, we're getting by, you know. But I remember a long time ago I taught a lesson about, I used a bunch of D's for like alliteration, you know. But I talked about deterioration. And I said that things naturally, left alone, they naturally deteriorate.
Yeah.
So you think of like an RV is a really good one. But even if you think of a home, a lot of times the people are going to be gone for an extended period of time. They have somebody live in their home. They house sit. Because just it being used and stuff, it doesn't become stale and dank and damp and, you know, whatever. And so it's getting use. And so when things are left alone, they naturally decline. They naturally deteriorate. And if we don't, you know, if we don't expand and grow, then we're naturally going to decline. And so if we don't focus on growth and stretching and maximizing our capabilities and becoming world class, then we will eventually become nothing.
Exactly.